Sup people of the internety web stuff, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk about something I love, and once again it's film. However, today I'm going to do a list, and it is going to be my top 10 films ever. I don't know what just fell. Now remember, this is just my opinion, this is all personal, and there are reasons and meanings which are going to be totally irrelevant to you, but I would highly recommend watching all of these films because they're amazing. At number 10, I have got Zodiac, because Zodiac is a great film. I mean, what more can you ask for? It's got the thriller elements, it's creepy, and it's just beautifully done. It's fantastic all around. Plus you've got Robert Downey Jr. in it with a spectacular performance, and Jake Gyllenhaal with an even stronger performance, because in my opinion he actually steals scenes from Robert Downey Jr., which is a difficult thing in itself. To add some more context to this is a film based in the 1970s and directed by David Fincher, and it's all about the Zodiac killer, and like I've said, it's got Robert Downey Jr., Jake Gyllenhaal, and Mark Ruffalo. So at the end of the day, what more can you ask for from a film? It's, in my opinion, underrated, and it's just an enthralling watch. For my number 9 film, it's one of two entirely Spanish films on here. It is a Mexican film called Amores Perros, which is Love's a Bitch, and it's about dogfighting and how a car crash has intertwined all of these people's lives. Other than the fact that the car crash was actually done in Mexico City, which makes me so happy, it's just a fascinating film to watch. The way the plot lines interact and eventually come together, you just cannot keep your eyes off it. And it's over 2 hours long, but I love it nonetheless. On top of that, it's a 2000 film, so it's right at the start of Mexican cinema, where there was a great golden age of Mexican cinema, and it's one of Inarritu's best films in my opinion. Coming in at a solid 8 is Whiplash. Because who doesn't love Whiplash? I mean, do you love it? It's a great film, but I don't think it's one of those you could say that I love it, because it's so hard to watch. It's a really hard-going film. The yellow of the color tone makes you feel so uncomfortable, but the acting is so good and the directing is so good, and it's just beautifully shot, and shot in so little time as well, and J.K. Simmons is just out of this world in it. No wonder he won an Oscar for it. But Whiplash is about a drummer who's chasing his dream of being a drummer, and the guy in charge of the band at his college-y thingy, I don't know, I don't understand American schools, is a dick, but he gets the best out of people, more or less, or they commit suicide, whatever. Ultimately, Damien Chazelle produced an amazing film, and this is my favourite of his films because, yeah, La La Land was okay, but yeah, Whiplash is so much better. At 7, I've got a weird one. Mainly because it's been made into a TV series which is now being cancelled because it was awful, and the film itself isn't actually that good. It just has a soft spot with me. And it's The Last Tycoon. It's a Robert De Niro film, it's an old film, shot in black and white, but it's a film. As in, it's a film about the film industry, and proper film industry, when they're cutting the film apart, and I just love it. It's not that good. It's got a really weak romance plot in it, and it's just mediocre, but it just has a soft spot in my heart. Plus, De Niro, I mean, I have a huge man crush on De Niro, because can you blame me? Now, we're up to 6, where I have one of my favourite films ever. This is a film that's guaranteed to make me happy. I'll watch it anytime, really. And that's Labyrinth, a 1986 Jim Henson film with David Bowie in it. Because at the end of the day, who doesn't love a film filled with puppets? And all the puppetry is done spectacularly well, and the 7 superimposed David Bowie faces throughout the film, like he's always watching. It's just amazing. And I legitimately love this film. I watched it when I was really young. The Fireys gave me nightmares of everything. Those weird puppets on the green screen background. I don't know why they gave me nightmares, but they did. But I just love this film. The music's catchy. You've got the first appearance of like the CG owl. Like that's the first animal ever to be created like that. This led the way forward. But you remind me of the Babe. Ultimately, Labyrinth defines my childhood, really. This is the kind of film I want to make. I want to make a film with puppets in it. This and The Dark Crystal are just fantastic, and I have so much love for them. Now, into number 5. We've broken into the top 5, and in the top 5, Pan's Labyrinth. Look at that! Labyrinth after Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth is a film that I adore. Everything from the fact that it's mostly practical because you've got Forno and the Pale Man. The Pale Man's terrifying, the use of tripling, the religious iconography, and the fairy tale use is just, it's so good. Del Toro, this is, in my opinion, his best film. Nothing can top this as far as Del Toro goes with me. He wrote it all in a book and almost lost it. It's just it's a film with so many stories behind it, and then it's just full of imagery and thought-provoking imagery. And it looks at a time in Spanish history, the Spanish Civil War, when fascism won. That's something we as Europeans forget. Fascism won in Spain. And it's just an amazing film. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend going to see it. It's entirely in Spanish, yes, but there's beautiful gore. The colours are insane, and it's just outrageously good. Plus, you've got Doug Jones, who does not speak Spanish, learning his lines and the lines before him so that he can do it. And I don't speak Spanish, but I'm pretty sure his Spanish is pretty good. Now into number 4. But you're probably gonna question why the hell this is in my top 10. But it's a Quentin Dupieux film. And honestly, I love the way it's written. I love the thought that went into it and the way it's been constructed. And the use of how they get the main character, main villain, however you want to look at it, to move. It's Rubber. Rubber is about a psychic tire named Robert. And I love it. It's amazing. It's got so many, like the opening itself is so thought-provoking. You've got this car driving up, hitting all these chairs. And the reason behind it is no reason. And it's just so good. It's an insight into film and storytelling. And it's just fascinating. At number 3, I have got a 1946 film starring David Niven with Michael Powell as one of the directors, and it's a matter of life and death. Because this film is sweet, it's lovely, and it's thought-provoking, and dark at times. It's just such a well-crafted film. I remember watching this down my grandparents, and being drawn into, I was enthralled. And to think a child watching a black and white film, and it's 1 year after World War II, and it's just so good. Like, I'm in love with this film. It's one of my film lecturer's favourite films ever, and it's beautiful, and the set design on it is just out of this world. There's a scene where an angel is trying to convince this guy who should have died to come up to heaven, so he tries sneaking him up by using moving stairs, and I'm just giving away things in this film. I should probably explain that this film, a pilot is shot over and his plane crashes overseas, and he should have died, but he survives. And then it's this whole thing about heaven trying to get him up, but he's fallen in love, and they can't do it now. And it's just, it's so good. At number 2, I've spoken about this film before. If you know me, you probably know what I'm gonna say, but it's Chef, a Jon Favreau film, which is a cooking movie and a road movie, and it's just amazing. It's lovely, it's sweet, and it's such a well-constructed film. It's him going back to his indie roots and making an incredible film, with him starring Scarlett Johansson in it, Robert Downey Jr. in it, Dustin Hoffman in it, and John Leguizamo, and it just goes on, and this is a film that made me fall all the more in love with film. This is the film that I can watch over and over and over again. And honestly, the food's delicious in it. It's again a father-family issue, which most Jon Favreau films are, which is why I think he's very close to an auteur, if auteurs exist. I don't know. But honestly, if you haven't seen this film, go see it. You'll love it. No matter your age, no matter who you are, it's an enjoyable film, and it's a great watch. However, at my top spot at number 1 is Modern Times. The classic Charlie Chaplin film, which introduced us to an amazing song, and it's the last, I believe, Little Tramp film. And I love it. Everything about this film is perfect. If I had to describe a perfect film, I would say Modern Times. The scenes in it are impeccable, the morals behind it are astounding, and he speaks for the first time. He speaks gibberish, but he speaks. And it just shows what a universal language film is, and what a great creator and creative and auteur Charlie Chaplin was. The man was a genius, and Modern Times is one of the best examples of that. Honestly, if I could choose to make any film ever, I would want to make Modern Times. It's the most screen-capped, used pieces of Charlie Chaplin's footage, and if you haven't seen it, watch it, love it, enjoy it. Thank you for watching my top 10 films video. If you enjoyed this video, please show it some love. Comment, rate, subscribe. And if you think I missed out any films, tell me in the comment section below. What are your top 10 favourite films? Hell, what are your favourite films? Because this has taken me months and months and months to do to get into a good list. And thank you for watching. Join me again next Friday at 5. And I shall see you again soon.